Hey. Hi. The Angle Slam.
Cast.
That was podcast for anybody that wasn't sure.
There's a lot in there, sorry, I thought it'd be unique. Didn't really work. Hi.
Hi.
How are we all?
Podcast 19 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting there.
Well done. Sorry, I'm munching as I'm doing it.
We've just had tea.
I'm very hungry. Yeah, there seems, I think there was quite a lengthy gap between this one and Money in the Bank, but it seems to have rolled by quite quick.
Yeah.
Not complaining. I bet it's just one of those things.
Before we begin, again, usual, like, subscribe, find us on YouTube, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Apple Music.
Yeah, sorry, I'm cleaning the crisp packet.
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of crinkles.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, find us on the usual. Oh yeah, crack your drink.
Yeah, everyone listen? No. Bisto. Yeah, unfortunately.
We do have deaths this time, don't we?
Yeah, I've just literally, it's outside an hour, I literally just looked at the guy's name and I'm probably going to get it wrong still. It's either Alistair or Adrian. I know that's one of the two. Alistair Adrian McCallum, also known as the Lionheart. ICW World Heavyweight Champion, unfortunately died at, I think, age 36. I don't believe the cause of death has been revealed yet, but the rumour is suicide. Again. Which, yeah, it's unfortunately becoming a theme with us. Again, I can't stress enough, once again. But last time I think I stressed about, like, if you're in trouble, reach out. But now I'll go with the opposite of, like, if you even think your friend or family member, whoever is going through something like that, don't take the risk. Just ring them up, drop them a text, go and see them, whatever.
Yeah, always chuck a message.
Because it's stressful. I can understand that in the wrestling business, it's got to be stressful, like mentally, on your body,
especially with the fucking current state as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's bizarre as well. Like, yeah, I know you're not like top of the wrestling world, but in the industry you're in, the company, you're the champion, you're the top guy. It might be something as simple like it's not been ruled suicide yet. It's just a rumor. But if it was, it's, again, maybe the stress of it. It's got too much for him. I don't know, speculating. But again, we'll dedicate this to him. It's a horrible thing to happen. But we get on with the rather surprisingly kind of pay-per-view.
I wouldn't say it was the best of the best, but it certainly surprised us in places we didn't expect.
It surpassed our expectations.
Yes, and the expectations were beyond low. There was like 50 feet of crap, and then our expectations.
What I saw afterwards was the official attendance record and the...
It wasn't great.
Oh, it was shit.
6,000, and only 4,000 of them were paid tickets, and then I saw the pictures of the curtain covering the hard camera as well.
It's getting bad. Yeah.
2-for-1 tickets is not a good thing. It's something that's almost unheard of in WWE.
It's a very WCW thing to do.
Struggle.
I mean, but even back in WCW's heyday, they were that adamant to beat WWE. Some shows that just give tickets away for free, which makes it look great on television. But financial position, it's ridiculous. So knowing Vince, he's probably going, well, it is the weakest pay-per-view of the year. There's nothing
Nobody cares. Because we'll make them fucking care.
Make every pay-per-view awesome. Yeah. If you know it's going to be the weakest, if you know the fans deem it as the weakest, make it awesome.
Prove them wrong.
And they kind of did a little bit, but more to do with the wrestlers.
The build-up was crap.
Yeah, the build-up was crap. It was more to do with what the wrestlers did in the ring more than what any storyline thing. So we'll get to it. The pre-show we didn't watch.
No, but it was the Cruiserweight.
Yeah.
And it's surprised that Gulak won it.
Yeah, was it Gulak, Nice, and is it Tozawa? Yeah. Now, I was a little bit... I haven't watched the match. It might be one of those matches I'll watch later on.
Yeah, it's one of them, but I did hear that it was a lot of... Actually, a really well-paced match, loads of spots, and then just the shock win. It was a match I actually really wanted to see. That's why I probably will go back and watch it at one point. Triple threat, the cruiserweights don't always deliver, but when they do, it's amazing. I kind of expected it to be on the main card again, so I'm slightly annoyed it's on the pre-show, but considering what happened at the last pay-per-view, where they did kind of drop the ball with it, the cruiserweight title match wasn't great. I can see why it got thrown back to the pre-show, but also in other hindsight, we were worried that it's going to be like Kevin Owens and Sami on the New Day, or Daniel Bryan yet again on the pre-show. Yeah. So of all those matches, it kind of had to be It's fine.
Yeah, it's.
I think I'll go back and watch it.
Unfortunately, it diminishes the cruiserweight title yet again slightly.
And that, out of all our predictions, that was the only point I didn't get. I think.
I know the streak was over right there.
Apart from the referee, but none of us got at that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, ironically, your streak was technically over before it actually began, but we didn't know that. It was the pre-show. I think the main. I will say, I'm pretty sure the main word our word of the day is going to be credibility.
Yeah,
because we spoke a lot about it.
Credibility.
We watched it last night, which is Tuesday night tonight, so we were a bit behind.
This is going to be going up on Wednesday, guys. Probably about 6, maybe 7 o'clock British Standard Time. So
2 or 3 days behind the page.
Yeah.
Screw you. So, first match was the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, I was when it happened and kicked in with Becky's music, I was kind of like, oh, what? Becky on first? But then you made a good point, is that when you need a hot one to kick it in with, and Becky's still, reasonably popular at this moment.
We'll get. It will kind of make more sense why it was first when we get further on.
The match was.
I thought it was the weakest of the card. Well, not the weakest of the card, the weakest of the night.
I would say it was second weakest. I think there was another one that was weaker for me personally.
Okay,
but yeah, it wasn't. It was an all right, but it wasn't amazing. Considering that I know that they wanted that to be a hot opener, and it just wasn't that great. I think it's because I feel like Lacey still needs a bit of work.
Yeah,
which is weird because I've seen her in NXT, and then when I saw her at the Rumble and everything, I thought, she's alright. She's got some chops. She's pretty good. And then just with this feud, I feel like there's something being held back or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was just unfortunate because the crowd were kind of into it, where they were like, "Oh, also it's Becky," because Becky's like quite hot right now. But I think there was still that probably awkward atmosphere in the arena of the fans that were there, obviously looking dead opposite at a black curtain of like, there's no one here. This is, that would take the wind out of my sails a little bit, of like, you're not at a sort of packed house kind of thing. And also they were straight away like, we know this pay-per-view is probably going to be shit, so we're not going to get into it. But Becky and Lacey did, everyone does their best. I agree with what you say with Lacey needs work, but we've always said that unless you got 2 veterans in there, one person needs to carry the match. Becky was probably the person to do it, but she wasn't perfect that night either.
No, there were a couple of botches, and there were a couple from Lacey, but there were also a couple from Becky. You can see she was visibly pissed off.
She was the first one.
When she missed that rope jump.
Yeah, she had to kind of do it again. Lacey just stood there awkwardly. Yeah, because I think I said to you, it wasn't like little ones where it's like, that's passable. It wasn't big ones like, oh my god, they've completely fucked up this match, or that was.
But it was just
very obvious.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Which
minor mistakes, but an obvious one.
Yeah, for like the little kids who don't know about kayfabe and stuff, it would just confuse them, and then for people like us that do know it, it would just take the momentum straight away.
And then I think it adds an extra layer of annoyance when you've got the commentators trying to cover for it in a way like, oh, she missed it that time, but she got it this time, and I felt like it's like, guys, stop trying to cover it like she meant to do it, or like, she tried something and it failed. Just say that, there was just a slight error there. That's all you need to say. Yeah. But they're trying to cover it like it was either meant to happen or she attempted something and it went wrong. Yeah. No, she didn't. She just completely fucked up.
Yeah,
accept it.
Sometimes it is a kind of like, it will be straight on the performance fault. It just, they tried it, it failed, whatever. Sometimes accidents will happen. Sometimes you will slip off the rope. Sometimes we lose your balance. Yeah. The commentator's trying to cover that up for one, shouldn't be. It's like, lost balance there. Or, I get it. And it's unfortunate because the first thing I feel when I see that is straight away sympathy for them. Because it's like, oh man, you're in front of, it's pay-per-view, in front of thousands of people, you're on TV, and everyone just know you fucked up. But on the same level, I have the same feeling they have, which is annoyance. Because again, like I say, it takes the momentum out, you want to see a great match, and it brings it back to sympathy, like, oh, well, we know you fucked this up for me, that I'm gone, and then they've got to be feeling that same feeling of, I fucked this up for the viewers, yeah. But there wasn't that many, it was only like a handful. Yeah. But the match itself just wasn't great.
Plus, Lacey tapping out instantly to the disarmer.
Where did that come from?
Like, literally instantly, like, she barely held on, it's just like, why try and build up another star if you're going to have them tap out that quickly? I understand you want to keep Becky strong, absolutely. Yeah. Becky can be strong by winning regardless of how she wins. Yeah. You don't have a tap out that freaking quick.
It was just one of the only 2 big spots I remember where I think when Lacey kind of wrapped Becky's back around the ring post.
Yeah.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, didn't Becky tease possibly doing like a curb stomp or something like that?
No, it was me going on. What if she finished it?
Oh,
with
was
the
it?
curb
Sorry,
stomp?
I thought she teased it.
Yeah, because she was running the rope back and forth, and Lacey was bent over at that point. But it wouldn't bent over to a point you could make a curb stomp.
Yeah.
Sell. But I just thought to myself, what if she did though?
Yeah, I mean, I went with Lacey because I thought they might go with the shock factor and really kind of put all their chips behind this new female talent. But we always complain about they never. Especially with the male talent, these NXT stars get called up, they remain in pre-show or mid-card. They never put the chips behind them. I thought with Lacey they might, which they still are, they're still keeping her very much in the, like, some kind of main event spotlight, but I thought they might just go the full mile of, like, we'll throw the Raw Women's title on it. But no, I'm fine with Becky still retaining it.
It's what it was.
Yeah, and for me personally, I know you got another one, but to me that was the weakest match of the night.
Yeah.
Then I think it was New Day and KO.
Yeah, KO and Sammy versus the New Day. I'm pretty sure that it is.
Yes.
Now this was the surprise of the night, and sitting thinking about it, I think it was probably the match of the night for me.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
It's either this or the one that followed it, and I don't know which.
It was 3 matches in a row, which was amazing.
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on it, but I would say maybe it's this one, because I just didn't expect anything out of this match. It was just like, it's just a match that's been randomly thrown together at the last minute.
Yeah.
And originally I thought themselves would just chuck it on the pre-show, but they put it on the main card, and after watching it, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Because this match was great. It was extremely well paced, a really well told story. Yeah. Everybody got their moments to shine. They had this thing about the face being brutalised in Xavier to the point where he couldn't get to Big E because he kept getting knocked off the apron, and then it's built around that hot tag to Big E. Big E did all his spots and his amazing moments, and then you've gone back to Sammy and KO brutalising again and finally getting that sneaky win of a stunner to Xavier, and the win was definitely deserved for those two. That made absolute sense. Everything about this match worked perfectly for a match I didn't give a shit about. It was poetry in motion. It really did go well.
You pretty much said everything I would say, with the pace of it and the great storytelling, because they did this smart thing where they didn't, the main factor of it was this is Big E's return match.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't make it all about Big E.
No,
they made it just enough.
Yeah, because if they did, it would be New Day winning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it would just be like, it'd just be like, Big E's kicking the shit out of Kevin and Sammy, and Xavier's watching. They didn't, they didn't do that. They did, Big E's great at what he does. He went for a hot tag.
They built around that.
Yeah, straight from the back. Like, I think KO super kicked Big E off the apron, and then Xavier took. I don't think finishes, but a lot of like Sammy and Kevin's signature moves in a row.
Yeah,
and he kicked out of all of them, which. Again, smartly, it didn't really diminish Kevin and Sammy because it was early on in the match because Xavier hadn't taken much punishment, and at the same, so in essence, it just made Xavier look more endurance,
resilient.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, resilient, more endurance. It didn't exactly put Xavier over as such, but it made him,
It made him the babyface clawing.
Yeah, the sympathy vote of like, please get that big tag to Big E. It was one of those matches where there wasn't actually like specific spots, but the whole thing kept you invested.
Yeah,
that's what a match should do.
I think it was very well paced as well. Just extremely well paced.
Well, for a crowd and a pay per view that wasn't exactly had much hype about it. It did get a "This is awesome" chant. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to piss all over it. I don't think it's exactly a match of the year candidate.
No,
but it's still a great match. It should be deemed as a great match.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the right people won.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
they needed something. They needed a win because it's been a while since these guys have had a win, and I think it makes sense to give them that. Yeah, it doesn't do anything bad to New Day.
No, and like you say, it would have been a very obvious choice to be Big E's back, so he's winning his first match back.
Yeah,
and he didn't take the pin.
Yeah,
Xavier didn't weaken him.
Yeah, they ticked all the right boxes.
Yeah, Xavier taking the pin, I don't think weakens New Day or him as such.
No, of course he doesn't, because he was fighting so much at the start of the match and kicking out all the signatures. So him to take the pin at the end, that doesn't matter because he's spent.
Yes. Or they could go with what I said of like maybe they could continue this of Xavier's beginning to feel like the weak link.
Maybe.
No, this is a thing. It's
the first crack to show.
It opens doors for New Day in a storyline essence, and opens doors for Kevin and Sammy of like, where can they ride this momentum?
Mm-hmm.
And this is nothing to do with, I don't think this is real and raw, it's just through the grapevine. One of the rumours for Extreme Rules was Kofi versus Ziggler versus KO for the championship. I think with a development's happening on Raw, which I won't talk about because spoilers, it probably won't be that. But at least, again, there's some rumours that Kevin's at least being thought about for the main event spotlight. And hopefully, because Sammy's there, he will as well.
See, for me, I don't mind having that triple threat and then eventually going back to KO and Kofi at SummerSlam where KO does finally take the belt.
Yeah.
Because I think Kofi's been booked really strong since he's had the belt. He's had it more than long enough, and I think it's time to put the heel back with the belt. And I think KO is so overdue. And this match hopefully can show to Vince, I can do it. I can do shit. People are still behind me. Even when his entrance music hit, people were still cheering the shit out of him. Even though he's had nothing of note really to happen that much in the last few months since his return. He hasn't really.
No, he hasn't.
And people are still going, I'm still invested in KO. Put the fucking belt on him.
I mean, I don't mind. They might even do this thing where, without Kevin and Sammy, one of them screws the other over to take the belt off them, making the other one a face. Now,
I mean, I would do it where they're still best friends. KO gets the belt at SummerSlam, and then the whole time Sammy is there prancing around in like a little jester all the time and singing his praises and all this kind of stuff, and build up that whole thing that we did with Jericho and KO beforehand. Yeah. Do the whole thing with Sammy and that, and eventually Sammy turns on him or KO turns on Sammy. Either way, one of them goes face, one of them goes heel, and then you have those two at Mania.
Yeah, it's a struggle with those two who you'd pick because Kevin is such a good heel, but so over with the fans.
Yeah, and then but it's the same with Sammy.
Sammy,
he's a good heel, but he's also a great face as well.
But I think he's doing better as a heel right now, even though he stopped those kind of pushing the envelope promos at the minute, which I think he needs to bring back because when he first came back, he was just completely just shitting all over the fans.
Yeah, but it's clearly Vince through him, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it isn't. It is. I think Sammy was very honest with what he was saying. I know for a fact that while he was off, he did think about potentially not coming back. And obviously, the only thing that between Sammy and Vince that, again, rumour, but is kind of well speculated, is that Vince allowed him to say that AEW lied a few weeks back. But since then, nothing really from Sammy in that kind of department. But we'll see. Again, this match opened new doors, and it was just, they great when trying to steal the show. Then I believe
it was Ricochet versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship, and again, this was another well-paced match. Good story told. Showed Joe as this real unstoppable beast, and also showing Ricochet as this high-flying guy that can get out of things. And they clashed so well together. You know what I mean? With their opposing things, with the big guy versus the small guy thing. And I think this is what they wanted out of Ray and Joe, but Ray just can't go as good as Ricochet.
Well, he's injured as well.
He's injured and he's older, and that is what it is. But Ricochet is amazing. Joe is incredible. And they just did a really good job. And again, another shock winner.
Yeah, I mean, they fed well off each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Nobody lost anything here, because I'm a big fan of Joe. We're all big fans of Joe, but we hate it when Joe's been losing the way he has, because it's been like a cheeky roll up or something like that, or some shenanigans, and it just makes him look weak and stupid, like he's angry going, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. It's like, no, build him strong, and if he loses naturally, it's fine, which is exactly what happened here. Ricochet beat him, but at no point did I think, oh well, that's buried Joe. It hasn't. He fucking did a great match here, and he was dominant through a lot of the match. So at no point did I think he was weakened by this loss.
I think, again, it's not much bad I can say about it, because I really enjoyed the match. I don't think they capitalised so much on the momentum as they could have. Because, again, any superstar in that locker room, they can have a great match, but, you always want to believe, that they can do better. And I don't mean it as a knock. Just that should be the goal. Like, you could have the match of the year, the match of the decade, whatever. The mindset's got to be, now I've got to try and top that. So I think we haven't seen the best out of Joe Ricochet in that. No. They've got a lot more in the tank. I just sometimes thought, Ricochet showed a lot of more like how he can sell. He can sell like a bastard. Like
the amount of clotheslines he got from Joe, and just rolling up on himself, well, there was one where we thought he was actually going to land on his feet. He actually did a 450 kind of fall and just slammed really hard. What the fuck was that? There was strong style in there with Ricochet's kicks. It just didn't seem to be a kind of, I didn't want to have to be out of breath like NXT sometimes do, like that kind of thing. But it was almost like, oh wow, that was awesome.
and then it would slow down a bit. And then, that was awesome.
But it wasn't slowed down like a wrestle.
No, it wasn't slowed down like it was like 10 minutes. It was kind of like...
It was peaks and troughs constantly.
Yeah, just up and down, up and down. So it's not, I suppose it is nitpicking. You know, it wasn't like a fine line of a great paced match, but it was still a great match. You know, they had the mix of strong style and Joe's brutality, let's say the high flying stuff. And at the end of the match, we got a new United States champion.
Yeah. Was it 450 you won with?
Yeah, because at first, I think if I remember, Joe escaped the first one, didn't he?
Yeah, he moved.
He was moved. Because then Ricochet landed quite hard. I think he tried the Kamara lock, and it was the tease of like, right, this is coming to the end now, but who's going to hit the hand? And Ricochet did.
It was good, and he got this kind of congratulatory thing. I can't fucking say that.
Congratulations, we say.
With everybody like behind him backstage, and Triple H was there as well. Yeah. All faces. And then Charlotte was just randomly there, which is weird.
Yeah.
But that went straight and smooth into the next match, which was
Heavy Machinery
and then Danny Bryan and Rowe, because they just like congratulated him and went out. But I like the fact that Triple H was there to thank him as well. And yeah, like you said, later in the evening they had
the club during his photo shoot.
I'll see on Raw. So I don't know what they're doing with AJ, but maybe they're turning him heel or something like that.
Well, yeah, I do like the fact that
they're potentially putting them back together.
Yeah, not just a club thing, but a AJ Styles Ricochet storyline thing is great. And if it's for the US title, it really brings that belt up to, because it's kind of the weakest belt at the minute. I'm kind of not including the 24/7 belt, because to me that's kind of just a toy that the mid-carders can play with. Yeah, it's just a kind of like...
I would just say, like, to make that belt look better, all you got to do is change the green strap to black and it would look 10 times better.
Yeah.
Green just looks cheap.
If you want to kind of steal... I think, we always said it's kind of their way of going, we'll bring back the hardcore belt, but in a PG era.
Yeah.
If you want to give it a little bit more, like, hardcore-esque thing, if the belt's being, like, run up and down all over the place, it's got to start looking a bit rough and haggard and stuff. So similar to what happens with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you carry it for a year, they hit someone around the head with it, and it's dented. They don't get a new case. They keep this battered case. Do it with the belt. Make it it's sort of kind of elegant when we first saw it, but over the months and running up and down and airports, weddings, whatever, begins to look a little bit tatty. It's just an idea.
Yeah. So good match, and then like I say, it went on to the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which was Heavy Machinery.
This was kind of interesting.
It was a good match. I mean, the problem was that you wanted Heavy Machinery to be cheered and the other guys to be booed, but unfortunately, because it was hometown for Brian, he was constantly getting cheered.
Yeah.
Save the Planet and buy a Prius and all that kind of shit.
I think he kind of embraced it in not in a whole, I'm going to be faced just for this night. It was just like, you're my hometown.
But for Heavy Machinery's first title opportunity, you want that big pop thing, and the moments that happened, they didn't happen exactly the way I wanted to, because the crowd were like, well, no, we're cheering for Brian because it's his hometown.
Yeah, for the first,
it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's just a nitpick.
For the first half, I agree with you, but I thought they did quite well to change it. I mean, Rowan didn't do too bad. Again, it's kind of
he's serviceable. He's a serviceable wrestler.
Yeah, it's just kind of still an odd matchup of Rowan and Brian. Heavy Machinery really proved the point that they belong.
Yeah, definitely. They did a really good job.
Because again, it wasn't. Most of the time it was the hot tag for Brian, where the crowd would go and glued, which is weird for like a heel team, so to speak. Heavy Machinery showed off their not just their tag team abilities, but their strength and all that.
Yeah.
Where it began to really turn for Heavy Machinery, which is great, I think. When Brian started doing the yes kicks, or whatever he calls them now, I don't know. And obviously the crowd are loving it. Brian's a hometown boy, and it's one of his signature moves. And then Otis almost starts that whole kind of hulking up thing, feeding off it. And instead of the crowd kind of going, "Oh no, fuck, Brian's having no effect," they kind of got on board with it, and they kind of changed the pace a little bit of Heavy Machinery might do this now. And I
liked the thing they did with Otis and Rowan as well, where they were
I forgot they hadn't even...
They smacked into each other and just nothing was happening.
But it was one of those genius things where I was like, oh yeah, they haven't been in the ring together yet. And these two massive bearded dudes are let's see who's the bigger man here kind of thing. And I think after a lot of running back and forth, almost like running to brick walls, like you say, when Otis just easily picked up Rowan from like a power slam.
Yeah,
whoa,
it was good.
This guy's got some fucking brawn in him. No pun intended. And then he did his caterpillar thing. And like I say, it began to look like, with some near falls here and there, began to look like Heavy Machinery were going to do it. And then Brian got the roll up.
Cheeky roll up.
Which is good because it's a heel thing.
Yeah, it's a heel thing, and I'll be honest, that's the kind of roll up I like. With a decent match and it's built well, where you think the faces are going to do it, and then the heels get their cheeky roll up.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, it
worked fine for the characters. I don't really have any qualms with that.
Yeah, because it wasn't exactly cheating, but it was kind of like letting Heavy Machinery know. Well, on one side, it's like the fans going, "Oh, they were that close," but it was like kind of on one side of like Brian and Eric going, "We got away with the skin on our teeth, but it still counts as screw you."
Yeah,
kind of
we stick with the win. You don't get a rematch clause. So.
Yeah, well, I still don't think Heavy Machinery are out of the title picture yet.
No, I think they make their way back in.
I think there's potential for more. So there, three great matches in a row.
Yeah,
then Bailey, Bliss.
See, for me, this is the weakest of the night for me.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I just thought it was just kind of.
It wasn't great.
It was all right.
Yeah,
but I just felt like the mixing of putting Nikki Cross in there was just kind of
confusing.
Meh. You know what I mean? I just wasn't that fussed about it. Which is weird because Bailey and Bliss are great. But I just didn't really care that much about this match. I mean, I know she did a really good promo on the SmackDown, and that was fine. It invested me a lot more in that promo. But when the match kicked in, it never really got going for me. And when it started to feel like it was it was over. Nikki Cross got involved and cost Alexa the match by accident. And that was it. You know, I mean, that's fine, and I'm happy with Bailey retaining because I don't think they should take it off her straight away. But yeah, for me, it just felt like I wanted a little bit more, and I just didn't get anything. It was for me, it was just a standard SmackDown match for me. It wasn't a pay-per-view worthy match.
But saying that, I felt that about Lacey and Becky, and if I had to pick out the two, by just like a slither, I would have I prefer Bailey Bliss to the first one, purely because again, there isn't really much that stood out. Nikki Cross didn't really do much, like I say, till the end.
I think Bailey hurt her arm.
Yeah, there was the bit where I think at one point Bliss looked like she was. It looked like she fucked up first because she was running at Bailey and then just stopped. No, what the hell? And she then just slapped the taste out of her mouth. So it kind of brought the storyline element into it of like there's just a lack of disrespect from Alexa to Bailey, and Bailey started getting angry, which I'll get more into in a minute. Of like maybe this might be a new. Aggressive side to Bailey.
Yeah, because she was being a bit more aggressive in this. Like she was being a little bit more attitudey and less huggy.
Yeah, if it's leading to Bailey going, I'm champion, the least you can do is now take me seriously. Yes, I like to hug people, but I can do it when it matters in this ring.
Make it all business in the ring.
Yeah. When it really started going was when I think Bliss got thrown out of the ring, Bailey did the suicide dive, and Cross took the bump. It wasn't Bliss like pulling Nikki in front, it was the opposite. Nikki pushed Bliss out of the way. I think that might be where Bailey hurt her arm.
Maybe.
Because at the end of the match, I mean, we'll get what was it? Nikki Cross did accidental.
No, accidentally. She got in the ring because she was pissed off because she got hit by Bailey, and because of that distraction, she kind of went out, and then Bailey got hold of Bliss and belly to belly. And
because Bliss was about to do whatever the finisher is.
What's the thing?
Like the weird sideways move.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But she managed to get hold of her belly to belly good night, and Bailey's still your champion.
Yeah, but when Nikki went in to check on Bliss, it might have just been part of the character thing, but I can't remember if it was punch or kick now, but Bailey went over to Nikki. It didn't look like a, let's say, call it a wrestling thing. It looked more like a receipt of like a proper kick or punch to Nikki, or from Bailey, almost like, what the fuck? Now, I don't know, Bailey was favouring her arm. I don't know if it was just, for the cameras.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if that's... Because the suicide dive did look a little bit like a rough landing. I don't know if Bailey blames Nikki for that, and that was a kind of like, what the fuck? You've hurt my arm.
Maybe.
I mean, I've heard nothing, so I'm guessing Bailey's okay. Or it might be, more to the aggressive side of Bailey. We don't know. Yeah. But I know what you mean. It wasn't the greatest match in the world, and I said I think I said to you last night that it's a shame that at the minute the two women's championship matches are what's kind of let this pay-per-view down.
Yeah, but I'm kind of
That's not me pissing on the women.
It's just that's just the way it was this pay-per-view. Doesn't mean it's going to be the case. It's not like it's been a running gag for a while. It just happened to be this pay-per-view that those were the weakest ones this time. It is what it is.
Yeah, so, and I think, again, Bailey needs to hold on to it a little bit longer.
Yeah, because otherwise it makes the money in the bank briefcase completely pointless.
Yeah, I remember saying, it's like, why have her win it, cash in the night, win the belt, and then lose the belt?
Yeah.
Within like a month and a half and whatnot.
It's just there for that'll just prove it was there for the pop. So luckily they didn't do that.
Next was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Yes,
and this kind of surprised me because I was for once impressed with Roman.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like the best match ever. No. It was a serviceable match. It did what it needed to do. It did what it said it was going to do on the tin. But yeah, there's a couple of times I was thinking, like, especially that jump with Roman.
Man, he almost
hell of a jump. I was worried that he wasn't going to bend, like in flipping time, but it was a good match. It was, it wasn't amazing, but it was good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember one of the matches. It might have been. I thought it might come back to me then. With a few years ago when it was Dean Seth, they were trying to, when Dean was the heel, they tried to revitalise that. I think it was a TLC or something, and it was the match that let down the night. Yeah, the crowd were just like, this is shit. And one of the main reasons was you built this up of Dean's betrayal and Seth's hatred for him. Yeah. That these two should be each other's throats. And they just kind of like, we'll get a wrestling match. Yeah. Nothing to do with it, kind of thing. With Drew and Roman,
they kicked in before the bell.
It was just a fight from the get-go. Before the bell, the fight through the crowd. Shane obviously got involved. When Roman leapt over the barricade straight into like an uppercut from Drew, like, bang! Like, awesome.
I mean, after those few spots at the start, everything kind of went exactly as it should have done. It was just kind of like
back and forth.
But then Roman's kind of been worked on and everything, and then suddenly it's kind of built up to the point where he overcomes that, and then he builds up and it's ooh-ah, and then good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I expected Roman to win. I wanted Drew to win, but predictions wise, obviously, I wanted Reigns to win because I wanted that point. But yeah. I mean, I want. Drew needs to win the next match he has. No matter who it's against, he needs to win. Because otherwise he's going to start to not be taken seriously.
It's just like, you're a psychopath that sucks.
I kind of expected Reigns to win because 9 times out of 10 Reigns wins lol, and he lost the last match against Shane, so they're not going to have him lose 2 matches in a row.
Well, that's why I went with Drew, because I thought Roman won at Mania, surely Drew's got to win this. And allegedly, that was the plan. But Vince changed it the morning of the Stomping Ground.
Of course he did. Do you know what? I'm glad he did because it keeps me champion in our little predictions table. So
I think you would have been anyway because you had
I was like 2 or 3 points ahead. That's right. I'm champ.
But I think it's not like I was upset because so I suppose I'm upset in the long run about thinking why Drew needed that victory. But the match was doing so well to a degree that I didn't mind it.
It's not like it was a burial.
No, I mean Roman took the bump. It was like the Alabama Slam thing.
Oh yeah, Alabama Slam. Yeah.
And this isn't me saying that Roman has never took a bump, but I think I remember saying on the night when he became that main event caliber superstar where he was just main event all the time, it was getting really boring.
They're wrestling him safe.
Yeah, and he kind of took a step back, like, well, I'm in the main event spotlight now, I can relax a little bit.
I don't think that was him though. I think that was Vince going, we can't have you go too mad because we want you to be in this spot for a while, so I don't want him injured.
Yeah, potentially. But
then fate has a way of intervening anyway.
Yeah, to me it should be the other way around. Not like you're the top of the game, so be the most dangerous you can. But it should be like if you're a champion, you've got to put on the best match you can.
You've got to prove why you're in that spot.
Yeah, that you can take the
can't rest on your laurels.
Yeah, you can take the punishment. You're good at what you do. And so I've never really the whole Roman sucks thing. Like we've said in the past, it's been more a message to Vince of we do not want this guy in the main event right now. Yeah. Fuck you and fuck Roman right now. Same with what's going on with Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
But
Roman's me kind of evil.
Yeah, I've never thought to any degree that Roman's anywhere near the greatest wrestler in the world. But he's not bad.
No, he's a good wrestler.
And he proved that last night.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler. And they're pushing him right now. They're building him back up slowly as a face, and people are actually behind them because of the whole leukemia thing. So you've done the right thing where you use that to advantage. Where we're actually like happy to see Reigns now. We're happy to see him in matches.
Yeah,
and he's not being rammed down our throats as titles, headline. So, I think maybe they'll build back to that eventually, but at the moment they're doing the right thing and keeping him where he's meant to be.
Yeah, cause it would have been really cliche for him to come back and go, well, if you can kick Cancer's ass, he deserves a title shot straight away. No, you've ruined it. And also, they hadn't done this thing, which they could have easily done, but luckily they didn't, even if it weren't the title picture, every storyline being, well, I survived cancer.
They haven't beaten it to death, which is good.
Because you shouldn't, no one should ride the coattails of surviving cancer or whatever to get to the top. No. And Roman's not doing that, and he never wanted to do that. That's why before he had announced that it came back, no one ever knew. Mm. Yeah, and kudos to him. He didn't want a sympathy vote or anything like that. Yeah, the match was good. Shane got involved. There was a couple in there finishes of who's going to do this, but
Reigns ultimately.
Yeah, and then
Shane announced backstage that it was going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match at Raw.
Yeah, Shane Drew versus Roman, which does happen, but I can't give you spoilers and shit. Following match was the steel cage match for the
so we're down to our last two matches, the headline two. This is kind of like where everything kind of not fell apart, but just kind of became.
This is my second weakest match of the night.
It's kind of
Yeah,
for both matches really. But so this one's a steel cage, Ziggler versus Kofi for the WWE Championship, and it's weird this one because
it just felt was thrown into the pay-per-view for no reason.
Yeah, I mean they used the cage a bit. But the only things that invested me were the moments where they were right near the door and being fallen out and everything, all that kind of stuff. Like 2 or 3 times at least, they were doing that with Ziggler and Kofi, dragging each other back in. That was the bit I was invested in because it's so close. But everything else in between that, there wasn't much. The only spot I can remember that was a really good one, that the SOS that he did was fucking picture perfect.
Nailed it.
That was probably the best SOS he's nailed so far. That was so perfect.
Yeah, and again, it's more kudos to Dolph.
He's good at reactions. But apart from that, nothing else stands out apart from the finish, which I understand.
It was unique,
and that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of hitting on it a little bit, going, "Oh, that was kind of a bum ending." It isn't for me because I wouldn't have expected that at the last one. I would expect him to jump at the top of the cage or to do the natural thing of falling out or walking out because Ziggler's fucked or whatever.
Yeah.
Or pinning him, whatever. I did not expect it to go the way it was, where Ziggler was about to fall out and then he decided, "Fuck this," and just dived through the ropes and fell out first. That's smart.
Yes.
It's a smart move because that's what you would do in a real world situation. You do this. I thought he's about to fall out the ring. His feet are about to hit the floor and about to take my title. Fuck this, and he dives through the ring, and that makes sense.
The problem with cage match, it'd be easy for me to blame it on the PG era, so I will. But since the PG era, they've seemed to still manage somehow to do this thing that every time the mention of a Hell in a Cell match, or when Hell in a Cell comes round in the year, it still feels like a dangerous match. Not as deadly as it used to be, but still dangerous.
It's red now.
So where back in the day, so Hell in a Cell's gone down a peg to deadly to dangerous, cage matches have gone down from dangerous to there's a cage around the ring. Because it never feels dangerous or deadly or
because it never gets its full advantage used.
No.
You just get a few throwing them in the ring and
that's it,
maybe you grind their face across it once. That's it.
Especially with the characters like Kofi and Ziggler, I know they're not spring chickens anymore, but I was thinking you're kind of renowned for your high flying bumps. I was expecting a lot of
and they've had
off the
million
top of the
matches over the years, so it's just kind of like you need to step it up.
Well, maybe they felt the pressure of that. I think with a cage match, what you have to do, I think sometimes the superstars focus too much on the cage and they less on the wrestling. I'm like, look, I get sometimes a cage can restrict what you can do in there. Sometimes you can't do suicide dives or anything like that. But regardless, try and put on a wrestling clinic with inside the cage, and then obviously use the cage every now and then.
Yeah.
Or go the complete opposite and just be all about using that cage all the time to your advantage. Use the brutality of it, of
do whatever
slamming,
you
grinding, climb to the top. It was a wrestling clinic. It wasn't exactly dangerous, and not once from even the start of Ziggler's music to honestly, even at the door stuff, did I genuinely think Dolph was going to do this?
No. Like, it was when he was at the thing, it was like, oh, he's really close. But yeah, when you thought about it, heart of hearts, you go, he's not going to.
Yeah, it was less about is he going to do this?
Because the problem is, it's paper thin these days, with kayfabe being as thin as it is, that we know what Ziggler's contract entails. He signed a multi-year contract because he wasn't sure that he wanted to carry on, but they said, look, we'll give you this. If you can do this, we'll give you a shitload of money. He goes, fine, because he wanted to work with his comedy stuff and doing other things. So basically, he goes away, he does his other things, and every now and then he comes back to put talent over. That's all he does. That is what he's there for. Yeah. So we knew as soon as he got chucked into this feud, we knew what it was there for. It was there to make Kofi look strong, put him over, give him some victories, and all the while, hopefully giving us some good matches. Yeah, that was all it was there for. I mean, so it's hard to get invested that we generally think he's going to do this.
Yeah, I don't know what the backstage politics of it were. I don't know if it was because, originally we thought Ziggler's going to Super Showdown because Kevin can't.
Or won't.
Yeah.
Apparently the reason Kev wouldn't go is because Sammy's not allowed.
Yeah,
so because of that, fair enough. Stand by your mate.
Yeah. And then it might be something in Vince's head to kind of go, oh, we'll bring him back because he's still under our contract. Maybe he'll rekindle the love. Maybe he won't go AEW, or it could be any of these things. But as far as the match goes, anyway, it was less about. Well, I was less thinking, oh my God, Dolph might actually do this. It was more, how's Kofi going to get out of this? How's he going to stop it? It was never like Dolph is genuinely going to do this.
Yeah.
And I will give credit where credit's due. And this is not. I suppose it is a knock on Kofi. Again, the storyline wasn't the most captivating, but with the story what it was, Dolph carried that story for me because his promos and the emotion in his eyes and his voice and stuff of the whole "it should have been me. I've worked just as hard as Kofi, and you should love me. I should be champion." I think it's a great angle, and all Kofi did was kind of like, well, if you feel that way. Yeah, Kofi didn't really
I still reckon Kofi's put a bit of heart behind his promos. I wouldn't say it's the best of the best, but I still felt invested in him treating that title as a big deal.
Well, yeah, of course he should. Yeah, but it was.
Like I said before, there's a lot of champions that have rested on their laurels when they got hold of the title, but Kofi has not done that. Well, he's gone, this is a big deal to me, and it's a big deal to everybody. I'm going to make sure that is proven.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kofi kind of. I'm not going to say redeemed, didn't do anything wrong, but at the end of the match, the post-match interview, New Day came out and all that.
Yeah.
And he said, look, I've always respected Ziggler, always will. And I think that was less storyline, more truth behind that.
Maybe because he knows that Ziggler's gone away again.
Yeah. But I just sometimes felt it was like, I know Kofi's response was like, don't say I haven't worked for this, or I haven't earned this. Sorry, it doesn't work for you, But it seemed, if you could summarise Kofi's responses every week of, well, tough titties.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, but I agree. The match kind of got going when the tease of the door, where it was almost like a back and forth door. And then, let's face it was pretty much a suicide dive through the ropes and through the door. Kofi just pretty much splatted on the foot, but a win's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
And again, I don't know if they're going to continue with this Dolph storyline.
No, I don't think they should now.
But I mean,
I don't mind them making it a triple threat thing, like you said. But I that's it.
Yeah, because if they do keep it with Dolph can be like, you didn't exactly beat me. If by like a millisecond or a few inches, you won. So you still cannot say you're better than me. Even though technically Kofi can say, well, I am because I beat you in Saudi Arabia. So, cheers. Titties.
Cheers, all the best.
I'll feel next one, back of the line. Go back to your comedy club, whatever. To me, it was like the second worst match of the night.
So then after that was main event, and it was, I'm happy that Rollins is finally getting a main event with his title.
Yeah.
But it's against Baron fucking Corbin that no one cares about. And it was the special guest referee thing that was built around it as well. I mean, Rollins came out with his chair and everything, and basically said, I'll give this to whoever comes as the referee and tries to fuck this up.
They teased it with Paul Heyman being there.
Yeah, and we thought it may be Paul Heyman, a couple of our guys
maybe Shane,
but then we thought, well, after Shane's been in that match previous, that's not going to happen.
We thought Bobby Lashley, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, we were sitting there rattling our brains. We were rattling our brains, going, what are we going to be? And then suddenly went, what if it's Bobby Lashley? I went, oh my God, it's going to be Bobby Lashley.
Because they were in a team.
Because that's the kind of anticlimax shit we're expecting.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was a better choice than Bobby Lashley, but it was still anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was.
For me. I mean, it was alright.
but yeah, if it was Bobby Lashley, I mean, their logic was meant to be like, well, it used to be a team, and Baron would obviously go, when I win, you get the first shot at the title, or some shit like that. I think at one point I said Stephanie McMahon, which
It might have been alright.
yeah, I would have been fine with. I remember when it was revealed, it was kind of like I was like 60% more on the. Yeah, okay, more than that. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Because
It's a difficult one to call. I'm on the fence with this because at the same time you think, all right, fine, because I did not expect that. I really didn't, which means they're doubling down on a certain thing. And then on the same thing, I was like,
the thing is, as soon as
there was so much better options out there, though.
Well, we had already speculated on the whole Seth going, oh, beat the shit out of him with a chair. Go, it'll be a woman. He can't hit a woman with this new era or whatever.
Even though no, I can take an RKO.
Yeah, or back in the days of Steph taking a rock bottom and stuff like that. But as soon as he announced it and she came out, it was like 5 seconds of like, Lacey, really? And then instantly, it was like it was just so obvious of like, well, Becky's getting involved.
Yeah. Like straight away, it's like, right, so they're doubling down the fact that Becky and Seth are definitely together in a relationship. They decided to use that in a storyline in whatever way capacity they want. And yeah, like I say, as soon as she was there, well, clearly Becky's coming out to sort some shit out because there's no way I'm having Baron Corbin win this title. And there was, again, it's the same thing with the Ziggler thing. There was no reason or no thought in my head that made me think Baron is winning.
Yeah, it was just straight away. It's almost. I know they could have just booked it completely different. I know what their end game and their goal was because obviously going to build up with this storyline, like I say, reference the Becky Seth thing. But as soon as it's like, this is Lacey Evans, she's going to be the ref, it straight away gave away the end of the match. You knew what the end of it was
spoiler
going to be.
alert, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind the fact that through the match she was going, oh, it's no countouts, and then a few minutes later, oh, it's no DQ.
Oh, she did well.
As soon as she did no DQ, I was like, right, well then Becky's got every reason to get involved now because they can't disqualify.
Yeah.
My only downside with that whole thing is that it's a solid 15 minutes of Seth being beaten the shit out of and being abused with these new rules being interjected through the match.
Yeah.
And Becky's not getting involved.
Well,
do you know what I mean? If you're going out with someone and you're seeing that happen, you're just going, no, I'll wait. No, you just as soon as you see it, it's like, no, I'm out of this. But she did 15 minutes and then suddenly, oh, it's no DQ. I'm on my way. You know what I mean?
It was almost like...
It was just like in the real world, you wouldn't fucking wait that long. You wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. But it's also weird in the sense of it didn't feel like a fight and it didn't feel like a wrestling match either.
No, because it was Baron dominating for the majority and then Seth finally getting the upper hand because Becky got involved.
It was almost like this shit deal where if Seth and Baron had spoke before the match of like, right, I'll do the spots because I think Baron took a bump through the commentator table and stuff and whatnot. And then, so when I'm doing a fence on you, it'll be the big spots because, the crowd will go, yay, Seth. When you're on me, just beat me down. So pretty much zero wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I say, Baron isn't the worst wrestler in the world. He can go.
But he's just been put in the wrong position at the moment. He's in the books in the wrong area.
Yeah.
That we don't care whether he's good or not. We don't want him in this position.
Yeah, and it was almost like, as well, similar to what I said with the cage, of like, some wrestlers are put off by the cage who don't know if to use it a lot or not enough or whatever. I think it's the same with Lacey. At some points, it was just kind of like, if you're going to have Lacey there, she should be hot on the heels of every move, quick counts all the time.
That's the thing, she wasn't really doing quick counts. She was doing slow counts whenever Seth covered Baron, which was only once or maybe twice.
She did start with a quick count at the start.
Yeah, but after that, it should be quick counts every time. Because you're being a bitch, you're clearly being a bitch, so don't backtrack on yourself. Just quick count every time.
Yeah, and it was sometimes it
really
5
make
minutes,
it difficult for him.
5 minutes of Baron doing the beatdown, and Lacey just went, I'm going to be standing in the corner. So I remember saying halfway through, it was like, they're kind of for no reason at all making this match so long-winded. And maybe it just felt long-winded because, again, we knew what was going to happen. That Becky was going to run in.
And we were getting bored.
Yeah. And
because, if you spoil that ending because it becomes blatantly obvious, fine, but you've got to make sure that the meat in the middle of that is substantial. And it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of meh. For a headline thing, and for Seth's first headline match as a Universal Championship, I wanted better. And if I'm completely honest, I think if he was going against someone else, it probably would be better.
Yeah, I mean, again, what made it fun was the heel special referee thing, because she's pulling out all the moves that heel special referees have done before. But I think I said, like, it never really gets old because it does frustrate you, and you can. Seth was selling the frustration brilliantly.
He got in her face a few times, but he knew he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but also the difference between the two title matches, because I'm going to say it now, that to me, the worst 3 matches of the night were unfortunately the 3 matches with the most important championships. Arguably, the Raw Women's, WWE, Universal, and it kind of meh. But if Ziggler had done the shock factor and actually won the WWE Championship, we would have been surprised. Maybe we might have argued, is it the right idea or not? But I would have been kind of okay with it. With Baron, again, we never really believed he was going to do it, but what kept you going was the dread of, but what if he does?
Yeah, true. What if Vince is that behind him? Because he seems to be shoving him in this main event spot and we don't want it. So what if he does the same thing as Roman when he was obsessed with him? It's like putting the title on him because he likes him.
This should literally just pop back in my head. The cheesiest and most pointless vignette for Ali ever.
Yeah!
What was that?
What was that? Like, it's some kind of thing as like, the woman don't drink the alcohol or don't get beaten up by the husband and then don't bully that other person. I was like, okay, is this leading towards some kind of anti-bully campaign or something like that, or some kind of, if you need some help, that kind of shit. No, it was just Ali, and I just like, but what was the purpose of that?
Yeah.
It was so weird.
But even the way it was shot in a cheesy way of kind of almost like a Michael Jackson video.
Like Ali's this inspirational figure that people look up to. It's like, why? He's not been there long enough.
This has just gone to my head. I bet you it's another Vince idea because he's probably related Mustafa Ali to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali's this figure that everybody respected.
But he better not have, because I don't see that.
No one should. Just because you got the same name, you have the same character. Fuck you. But hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, but the thing is, as well, the video didn't really make sense. Obviously, Ali's voice over was suggesting that he has impact on other people.
Yeah.
But visually, the woman with the bottle and then Ali staring her down, in reality, the woman's just kind of gone, all right, fuck you, I won't drink in front of you.
Yeah.
And then the 2 bullies he kind of approached behind, and then it skipped to the next thing. It was like, so did you actually stop those bullies, or did you just watch?
Yeah.
And then it didn't even come up like Ali, the future, it just abruptly ended.
It just ended. I'm just like, are we seeing like 3 parts? And nothing.
What was that?
It was ridiculous. But yeah, main event just kind of meh. Obviously with Becky and Seth hugging at the end with the win, and she slapped his ass. They hugged a lot. They didn't kiss, which is good.
Because it would have been 2 John Cena.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it was funny, and they did it in a playful way. Like, she smacked his ass and he laughed, and then she opened the rope for him to walk out, because normally it's the other way around. It's like, no, they're still pushing this whole, no, I'm the fucking man. I will always be the man, even though I'm the woman in this relationship. It doesn't matter. I am the fucking dominant one. And Seth played that off fun, playful, and I quite like that dynamic. Because that's the problem when you get into relationships like that. They always tend to push the woman as the weaker version, which is bollocks, but they tend to do that. And I'm glad with this, if they're going forward with this relationship, that that's not going to be the case. She came out to save Seth, not the other way around. She was the one that was being the playful thing with the smacking on the arse and letting him out of the ring. I like that dynamic. I think it's fun for them.
Thing is, I'm just literally thought of a pro in my head that a heel superstar can use of the whole. They could just look at Becky and Seth and go, you know what I'd say, and look at Becky and go, behind every great man, you go, and then look back at Seth and go, is a ridiculous bitch, and just that kind of thing, But I think this was actually a WWE headline, which I'm kind of like, actually, I'm on board with that. It was like, Stomping Ground results and the thing, a picture of Becky and Seth, and it's like WWE's new power couple. I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they should, but it could potentially lead to maybe Stephanie and Triple H getting involved.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that, but, it's something they could do.
The only downside with this whole thing is the fact that it's clearly going to be a mixed tag thing at Extreme Rules, so Lacey and Baron versus Seth and Becky, and it's a shame because I don't want them to be doing this because I don't care.
They've announced,
doesn't interest me.
I think 2, maybe 3 Extreme Rules matches from what happened after Raw.
Okay.
And okay, I can tell. But shall we do the ratings of the pay-per-view?
Don't tell me the matches.
No, I'm not going to say the matches.
So,
but this is a hard one, really, because it kind of surpassed expectations.
But it still wasn't amazing.
Yeah, now talking about the first match and the last couple of matches, pretty much 60-70% of the matches were kind of a letdown.
For me, I'm kind of smack bang in the middle. I'm going to go for a 5.
Yeah, I think I'll join you with that.
You know what I mean? Because there was some great matches, some unexpected things, and some shockers and everything, and good wrestling. But the thing that let it down was a few of the other matches that just weren't working for me, or there wasn't good wrestling, there wasn't good build up, things I didn't care about. And because of that, I felt like I was in the middle here.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier of maybe going 5.5 or 6, but I'll stick with 5 because now looking in hindsight, the 4 matches that let it down were the 2 women's championship matches and the 2 world title matches, and they should be the biggest matches on the fucking card.
Yeah.
And to be more invested
I think that's why I gave it a 5 rather than a 4, is because of the fact that I didn't expect much from things like the Kara Sammy thing with New Day. And Ricochet and Joe, I was thinking, well, at this rate it's going to be another fucking, shock win. But it didn't. They invested the time and it was good.
Yeah, it's great for the tag team division on SmackDown. It's great for the US Championship. And to even, go... unfortunately, if Vince ain't going to listen to this because fuck him. If he hears me go, well, Roman Reigns Drew is better than any of those title matches, he's going to be like, well, we'll throw Roman Reigns in the title matches. They're like, not yet. Maybe soon.
Yeah.
But not yet.
I'd say later in the year.
Yeah. So the only thing I'll say about Raw, without giving too much away, something I didn't watch it. I just read the results. But I read this result and thought, well, I've got to see that. It's one of those things where I was kind of like, okay, cool, because it shocked me, but why? And it
I'll
was.
check that out later.
It was just, and it's why. It's not why in the sense of how Lacey was kind of cool. Don't get it, but I'm on board with this. This was more. I should be on board with this, but for reasons that will be obvious when you watch it. No, I'm really not, because. No. That's all I can really say.
Just no.
Just no. You'll know what I mean. You'll probably text me later. I completely get it.
Yeah. So it was a mid-range pay-per-view, really. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, again, but
it's got potential to show that they can do better.
Yeah, it's in a good, positive light. It still surpassed our expectations.
Yeah.
So it's out of the way.
It's out of the way. It did some good things, but it did some not so good things at the same time.
Yeah, now that we spoke about it, I think I remember saying afterwards, the last really good pay-per-view I remember watching was Fastlane. Yeah. And I still just about rate Fastlane over it. Because Mania was what it was. Money in the Bank was just... and then there was this. So now, we've got Extreme Rules and then... SummerSlam, which you always try and pull a big card out for that. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah, so how many weeks until Extreme Rules? 3 weeks. So we'll be back in 3 weeks. So make sure you like, subscribe. We got something else.
This is a live question because we haven't discussed this. Are we the next AEW one? Is it going to be All Out, or you don't want to do fight?
No, just do All Out.
Yeah, okay, we're back for All Out as well.
That's not till August.
End of August. So our next AEW podcast for just the AEW fans out there, you're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, but it will be back in 3 weeks for Extreme Rules.
Yeah, we enjoyed Double or Nothing. We enjoyed doing the podcast for it, so we can keep it up for the main AEW shows.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, and we'll be back in 3 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.